Hi, Andrew Bell here, and boy are we moving rapidly towards our busy spring season. Whilst winter can be a little quieter, spring is always our longest and strongest period in the real estate market here on the Gold Coast. No question, Australia has ranked amongst the highest growth in property values over the world during the past 4 years. And like so many other countries all over the world, it's because there's been a shortage of properties for sale and increased buyer demand, which has, of course, put a lot of pressure upwards on pricing. But the method of sale in various countries has always contributed to the prices that sellers are achieving. Now, in most countries, when a property comes to the market, real estate brokers simply look at what the most recent sales have been of similar properties and establish an asking price based on those prices, and then reach out to their database of buyers and perhaps list the property digitally. The first buyer who's prepared to pay the asking price, which is usually based around those previous recent sales, simply secures the property. No ability for multiple buyers to enter a free market competition for the property. Now, here in Australia, we have for well over a century pursued a different form of selling. We believe every property has its own merits, whether it's the location, style of the property, size of the property, or the condition of the property, or any other number of factors that come into play. And all of those make the property appealing to any number of different people. We have long believed that it is essential to have a great marketing campaign to let every possible buyer know the property is on the market for sale, and then allow market forces to determine the ultimate sale price. What we're talking about, of course, is auctioning of properties. Auction has existed for well over 2,000 years, and at law, it's been determined that a well-marketed property with competitive bidding delivers market price. This allows the seller the opportunity of achieving a premium price, and that's certainly been reflected over the past 4 years. But for buyers, it also allows an open marketplace where they have as equal an opportunity as anybody else to bid and buy a property. It prevents situations where agents just ring half a dozen potential buyers and sales are then done off market. But it gives sufficient time when it goes to auction for buyers to be able to secure their finance, do their property inspections, and all that they need to do to be in a position to compete with others to a price that they're prepared to pay. It's out in the open and they can see what the market is doing. Now, Ray White has just recently celebrated 122 years since it was founded by the great man himself, Ray White. He was a big believer in auctions from the very day he opened the office. Ray White's built such a strong platform and the strongest skill set that it's now the #1 auction company in Australasia. Now, last year alone, there were over 30,400 auctions. Last year, over 30,400 auctions were held by the Ray White Group, and that was up 21% on the prior year. The success rate of sales through the auction method is significantly higher than any other form of sale, and days on market was 40% less than private treaty. And we know that the longer a property sits on the market, the more buyers question why it hasn't sold, and it casts doubt on the wisdom buying such a property. And of course, auctions are an art. It's technically the highest form of selling in our industry and should only be handled by those who are the most competent in auctioning properties. For our own office, we've been conducting monthly auctions since 1989, the greatest number of auctions by any company on the Gold Coast. It simply is a case that the longer you specialise in auctions, the better you get. And it saddens me when I see many companies, some of which have only been in business 5 or 6 years, trying to purport that they're the best in auctions. It's often a case that you don't know what you don't know, which always makes it hard for sellers to know the best way to go. The two most important decisions that a seller has to make when selling their property is first, what method of sale they're going to choose, as it does have a big bearing on the sale price that they'll achieve. And secondly, who's the most skillful agent with a long track record to prove that they're good at their profession. Of course, there are many ways to sell and many agents to choose from, but the choice the seller makes is an absolute correlation to the price that they will achieve. With spring upon us, it's always a wonderful auction selling season, and we of course hold and have held for over 20 years our special selection of Gold Coast properties promoted as the Spring Selection. No market can continue to boom forever, and so capturing the market at its peak is always a sensible decision by any seller. Now, changing tune, a lot of fun was had at our Top Doggle event last Saturday. We are renowned for bringing our community together, and there was such a wonderful spirit in Main Beach. And congratulations to our team who put this together over months and months of work. And it raised invaluable dollars for the Animal Welfare League of Queensland. And a big thank to our sponsors, Green Cross Vets, Pet Barn, Little Scholars Early Learning, Schultz Prestige Cars, and the City of the Gold Coast. Well, that's it for this fortnight. Look forward to being with you in another 2 weeks' time. All the best till then.